Alright. Hello, everybody. I think it's about time we get back into the swing of things. But let me do a little something while I'm at it. Just a little something. So everybody's on the same page. I'd hope everybody had a wonderful Thursday. I think things are gonna be pretty exciting Friday because Nixon 5. Well, I should probably look at the schedule to just see. Almost kind of tempted to just take the day off because I know it's gonna be well, maybe not. I do need to rack up as many paid time off hours that I can, so I can actually start going on like multiple trips in a year, and then some. But I don't want to be too greedy about that. But hey, it does help to have some time off, if anything. It does. Alright. I think we can push this done. Let's get to it, really. I think word on the street is I do need to get myself my blade lineage units up to because of the bonuses. It helps. It helps. It helps me a lot. And don't worry, this is just for a rainy day. That rainy day probably being moments away soon. Just moments away. Because a certain someone is gonna be there, and I just want to be prepared to. Also gotta keep in mind of how much money I'm gonna be spending around that point in time as well. But I will be ready. At least I'll have some sort of parachute. At that point, I don't really give a flying fuck about whoever's gonna be on the banner. I just don't care about the announcer at that point for the next Walpurgis. And that's all that matters to me. What was on the extract? Oh yeah, this. Hey, it was good, Metal Wolf. How's it going? Hope you're doing pretty well. Also, I probably do need to probably stack up on some shards for Merceau's new ego, since that's a pretty nifty thing to have. Just an ID upscale. Hey, what's good? What's good, Artie? How you doing? Also, when did I become Doc? Always actively lineage mentor. They're so exclusive. Well, let me see. Let me check. Because I'm pretty sure I do have. Yeah, level 50. Boys. Yeah. Let me get you juiced up. She's 29. Okay, he's signed. I think I do have. Well, Blade Altus is nowhere near usable, but she does get a nice little bump up. A nice little bump up because of this event too. I do have Faust though. Yeah, Faust and Don. But it's just gonna take a lot of resources to actually make it work because I don't have enough shard and yeah, don't have enough threads in order to make it happen. I can liquidate. Like just oh yeah, it's pretty nice. We should be yeah, more than likely. There's a good chance I'm just gonna be focusing on just sharding certain characters or egos. Because I don't want to dip into my lunacy too much to the point where I don't have enough in order to pull for the next Walpurgis. Okay, just a little shocked earlier because I thought I wrote stuff down, but I realized I forgot the copy and lost it. Aye. Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. There's points where I probably forgot to save something and I just had to rewrite it from scratch. So I feel you greatly, Artie. And be oh, sweet. I can definitely use that then. So how many shards do I have of this one? Do I have enough? Am I? Nope, I barely have enough. But I think I could just crack open a few boxes and just be up there. Just crack open a cold one, boys and girls. What game? This is Limbus Company, a gacha game made by Project Moon. Follows the story of you as Dante. I can't say you because Dante is their own character. But you basically join them and their escapades with 12 other sinners as well. Each of them mostly based on certain literary works here and there too, but also taken with certain liberties in order to match this particular universe as well. So majority of the game is just team building and just finding a basic strategy in order to kind of make it all work, bring it all together and just overcome some very daunting trials depending on how you kind of approach it. You can kind of have fun with it too, but it is very apparent that there are some pretty strong identities which are other. Numbers with it's just I've been kind of on and off, mostly been like paying more attention to like the story stuff than anything. I don't really do like mirror dungeons on stream because I figured that it might be just a bit boring for everybody else to kind of sit through, especially when I'm just kind of hard focused on trying to make sure I don't break my damn run, even though it does happen anyway because I don't have pieces of remembrance to kind of level myself up. So yeah, I just mostly been keeping this as like story focused, if anything. Oh, Equinox, chill. Chill. Okay. Almost there. Yeah, story probably like the one thing I probably just give more credence towards, if anything. Wait. Okay, and we just round this off. Nice. Right, there we go. Now we can crack open these. Or ish. Oh yeah, we're up. So once next week rolls around, we can just pretty much unlock them pretty easily. It's just gonna be the matter of getting the threads. I think that's gonna be the main point of contention at that point too. Yep, so it's gonna be some time before that happens. Into the sunset. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, usually on the first one of these intervallos, they don't have any voice, so it's just gonna be me kind of reading things out. But when they come back as Bulgox, then that's when you start hearing the voices. No, wait. This one we should go about it like... Okay. No, Heathel's been on the vanguard for too long. Just come back and let him. Dante. Huh? Oh, sorry. Did you say something? I provided you an answer to your question, but you exhibited no observable response. Is the sinner's combat performance deteriorating beyond manageable parameters? No, things aren't that bad, but... just hard to focus on one conversation when I'm trying to support battles happening in completely different places all at once. On top of that, just shopping chatter just started to get a little distracting. A few days after we entered Ancorp's district, The bus pulled over in the back streets of Vancouver to take care of a distortion case. This contract is supposed to be handled by jointly with LCD team, but distortions suddenly started cropping up all over an area of the back streets called Butter Street, without any coherent pattern, no obvious point of origin or roots or spread, nothing convenient like that. I had no choice but to split the centers into several groups and send them out. Oh, let me also kind of move myself to the wayside so nothing blocks. I can also move the overlay down just a little bit more. So why does Butter Street sound familiar? Aldous, Ishmael, Sinclair, Don, Sang, and Merceau were on their way to rendezvous with the LCD team. Heathcliff, Gregor, and Honolulu were suppressing distortions that had shown up from other directions. With their onboard stock scrapped down to the bottom, Roji and Ryoshu, who were done with their share of suppression work, were in charge of buying supplies for the bus. As for Faust, she decided to stay behind me on the bus. I want to get through the consultation sessions I've been putting off, and thought I might as well get myself some much needed practice with handling the new golden willpower I acquired. Which is a bit of a catch-22 considering that it's not fully awakened. So I feel like this is a Chekhov's gun just waiting to happen. To reiterate, there are no issues requiring special concern regarding Faust. It is true that Faust has, on several recent occasions, expressed dissatisfaction with a certain Faust. However, those instances should be classified as a mere personal grievance. I mean, that's good if that's all there is to it, but it was not the first time Faust seemed unlike herself. There have been times before when she spent far longer alone than usual, lost in thought. Moments when she could not produce immediate answers to questions from other sinners or me. Could it be? You can't access the Gesellcraft? May I ask your basis for that inference? Because you're acting a lot like you did back on the warp train. It appears there remains occasions on which you are still capable of surprising Faust, Dante. So I was right. You really cut off from the Gesellcraft? That was not intended as a confirmation of your conjecture. It was just saying that while she can technically access the Gesellcraft, it may as well be that she can't. But you gotta ask more and get to the bottom of it, but the way she was sidestepping the subject told me that trying wouldn't give me any further insight. Alright. I will impress you if you don't want to talk about it. Your reserve is appreciated. Shall we move on? Yes, your consultation is the next agenda. After cross-referencing the records pertaining to the recent events in the House of Spiders, it would appear that the memories concerning the individuals designated as Sora and Ren will only remain with you, Dante. As such, the influence of Ryoshu and her sword led to further omissions in the official records. The manager would be responsible for supplementing the necessary information. Yeah, not the first time I was left with only one. Not the first time I was only one left with intact memories, huh? That's right. Despite Keiko's memory wipe procedure, Catherine's erasure, and the golden bull's power, Naraya Shiki serving people from existence, I was the only one who remembered what had transpired. Ironically enough, the mirrors I had prior to swallowing my head with his clock still showed no signs of returning. Well, that's because your brain's not there. Well, my old memories come back though. It's because of this clockhead. Speculation based on your experience with the bus team thus far will not meaningfully contribute to the recovery of your former memories manager. Inductive reasoning conducted from memories with gaps, after all, is bound to have structural limitations. Bongi will serve as an adequate analogy. Bongi? Yes, Bongi. Receiving feed and increasing in body mass alone would provide it with no meaningful basis for identifying the purpose of its rearing. Even at the terminal stage, when exposed to kitchen instruments and the heat of the stove, its limited experience would prove inadequate to constitute an understanding of its ultimate fate and purpose. Likewise, the ultimate answer to your doubts can only be obtained from the whole of the experience that you will have accumulated at the terminus of your entire journey. That is, your allotted mission. Because treasure awaits at the end of the road, at the end of hell. That treasure will give me back my memories in my head. Also, indeed, at the end of the road, you'll be able to engrave your aspect. I still have no idea what aspect means, or even whether it's an object, but if I know one thing, it's that the me from before all this began had wanted badly, obsessively, desperately. It's more like an instinctive knowledge. With my memories gone, that feeling, however strong it is, does not change the fact that it's just another word with no discernible mental image. You're not going to tell me what it actually is, are you? The aspect. What it means or why I want it so much. If it remains a piece of information that must be disclosed to you, then no. I'm unable to tell you. Stay in my mind. You're still following your star acceptably. Please concentrate on the journey. It kind of goes back to what Homeland was talking about the flow, and so on. More importantly, have you grown accustomed to the incomplete power? Current observations suggest that you have yet to arrive at that level. Well, I've gotten pretty used to focusing on one place at a time, but keeping track of several places at once is a bit rough. Our team is doing well in combat even without my direct supervision. Roach's team is shopping and not engaged in battle at the moment. Taking my mind off of them would prove much easier. You got the new ego? Sweet. You also have Kim Soul too? That wouldn't give me much needed practice, so I'm doing my best to keep an eye on every single cerner status. Sufficient familiarity should result in substantial tactical value. You'll be able to cast a wider net when information gathering and employ previously unavailable tactical patterns. Is it? Yeah, I've seen. Right. And I'd be able to tell what's a bad time to call someone in too. Even as I continue talking with Faust, I make sure not to stop observing the places where each group is and what they're doing. Yep, pulling Heathcliff to the rear was the right call. I don't see any injuries. This team is doing pretty well even without my directions. As for Roach, wait, did she just stuff all the pastries and bread she bought into pockets? How'd she manage with that huge baguette? And how's this group? Let's see. Looks like they jumped the LCD team without any issues. From doing what exactly? LCD. That guy must be over there. That guy over there must be... Hang on. Faust? They're the dude I've seen before, but seems a bit different from what I remember. Could you specify the issue? I'm monitoring the situation right now. We should probably join up with them too. Let's end the consultation here. This is rather presumptuous, Dante. If the incident is of serious nature, perhaps a request for support from the LCC. No, it's not an incident. So I wouldn't say it's not serious. Beach up. Okay. This is going from bad to worse, really. That seems to be a ton of it helping the other groups. His command calls have been working out well enough. I'll give her that. We even managed to hold the line better than expected, but we're definitely starting to feel the strain. Oh, Ronin! Hey, what's good, Ronin? How you doing? It's been a while, man. Let me give you a nice shout out. What you been up to lately? How's the hero been heroing? And what are you talking about, by the way, since you've been doing some just chatting? And as I like to introduce myself, I am Otsdarva the Fool, the Jester of Nihility. I hope you make your acquaintance well known here. Another spiel that I have to work on, but I guess this kind of works too. But if you have someplace to be, some obligation to take care of, or you're tired, then by all means don't feel pressured to stick around too much. But if you're interested in sticking around anyway, then please make yourself comfortable. And thank you to Ronan for bringing his community to me. I'll make sure that you're in good hands, even though I'm not exactly the hero type that he is. I'm more of an anti-hero, if anything. But yeah, we're playing some Limbus Company. We're doing the most recent in-between chapter, so... Alright, so shh. Equinox? No. we want to keep the recipes. Every time I say just in the Nihility, I'm reminded of what naturally. CG. Equinox, please. I know. But I just want to have this moment. I mean, after all, he is just simply referred to as Nihil. But I just figured that, hey, I might as well just fight that so I can actually have something cool to just really stick with. But I guess that's also the reason why I also kind of refer to myself as Joker as well. Looking cool, Joker. Why are you waving your hands off us? Arm hand signals? Oh, wait, what signals? What's swing? You can refer to yourself as a fool. That works too. That works too. I mean, it's probably not as cool, but it still has plenty of potential. Is a fool the one that finds it? Yes. It basically has all the potential to become wherever it wants to be. It just depends on what path they choose. And there's practically infinite number of paths to choose anyway, so you can really go anywhere. It is basically the number 0 for a reason. You don't know? It's scattered, damn it. So scatter. That was so close. We almost got flattened. Damn it. Even rookies with nothing but the most rudimentary of military training would have recognized that a hand signal that basic. We're not all trained soldiers here, are we? Verily, the force of a single hand doth indeed make boast of a chivalric elegance. Yet, when thou suddenly wavest thine arm about, clenching and unclenching thy hand in that mystical fashion, what a certain turn tail, forsooth I'm left bereft of understanding what thou meanest to say. Think all of that of the personnel in the team, only the suave has the discipline to interpret a basic field signal. I picked it up in my sailing days, and realistically speaking, did you really expect ordinary people like the others to understand professional military signals? This is unacceptable. After all the operations you've been deployed under my lead, you're still ignorant when it comes to non-verbal signals? Oh. I don't think Dante even would know those signals. Yep, might as well be splitting hairs, literally. Let us appease our agitated hearts and follow Mouse's instruction. We should disperse and withdraw. Megaton landing! Hey, pretty cool, huh? Let's face it, I know how to make one heck of an entrance. Zatero, I think so. I think so. Oh, are you supposed to be cleaning up the distortions upstairs? Oh, finito a million years ago. You guys are taking forever, so I figured I'd take a peek on ahead. You're welcome. Split by your thundering descent, the floor's form and shape are now crushed beyond mending, sunken deep enough to be likened into the incipit of a wellspring. Don't worry your little head about it. That's all the after teams to take care of. Oh boy. And Cayman is already a taskmaster in her own right too. Anyway, that should be all of them, right? Before saving the landing, neutralize the last of the distortions of the building. Great. Can't check on the distorted peeps' faces and gloves. Their faces are all segmented. Makes my skin crawl. Not a pleasant sight. As for their attire, this one appears to be a sweeper. That one yonder bears the attire of an ordinary fixer. And this distortion I landed on, probably a local resident, judging by the clothes. Did any of you happen to see anything nearby bursting with a big pop and flash? Oh, it's Schadenfreude again. Hey, not once. I mean, it's not the first time. Well, I think it is the first time Ezra's actually dealt with Schadenfreude. The first time was mostly with Moses. I think it was just only Moses. When she was doing a distortion case with an old man that was stuck in his house with nothing but photos in his place too. Might be misremembering. It's just distortion, it's just that this type is only established. Right. Yeah, I forget that there's like some sort of distinction between what goes on outside and what goes on inside of Lobotomy Corporation. So the Schadenfreude that we know in LC in the L Corp is much different from a distortion. Though distortion do have the potential to become abnormalities if under proper conditions of things just going absolutely haywire. Water. Okie dokie. You know what then? Let's all head upstairs. The professional quest is kind of a pain. We need to put together a nice neat plan before we start poking it too hard. A plan, sayest thou? How is this not a mere matter of slaying distortions where they stand? Huh? What, did nobody brief you? This has always been the structure of our assignments. We're given instructions, we perform them. Only afterward do we begin to perceive the nature and contour of the task of which we have committed on our hands. Really? Well, I guess every department has its own way of doing things. No big deal. I'll explain everything once we're upstairs. Oh, by the way, didn't get to meet the whole team last time, did you? Only our new girl this time. Only our new girl this time. That dude, Mr. Bamboo had Kim's also here, so... Huh? It's okay now? Sure he is. I'll be surprised once you see just how okay he is now. But the last time he said he was still under treatment. To be precise, I believe Mr. Dude stated that his mind is still yet to regain its former tranquility. Ah, that. You'll get it once you see him. I feel we'll just end up having the same conversation twice if I say anything about it now. You have arrived. It's blinding. So bright. The midday sun is pouring like crazy. Yeah, the warm tickle of the sunbeam is rather agreeable. No, it's not sunlight. It's something like this. There's more to the sunshine than it's warm. And what exactly is this light? Why is this thing on again? It's bright enough to fry my eyeballs. Apologies, Lady Ezra. I am meant to be accustomed to this machine. my first time laying a hand upon the complicated workings of such a contraption. It activated on its own accord. I've yet to discover the method by which it may be silenced. That's why I told you to leave it alone. Dealing with things you don't understand usually ends with something or you broken. Nothing good comes of it, I tell you. But Mentor, Lady Moses has instructed me that every moment and event, clues are hidden under the veil of one's surroundings. It must be examined with care. Yes, and that only works if you're savvy about the knack. Hang on, did you just say mentor? Ah, and I've been yet afforded the proper opportunities to introduce him to you. This here is the esteemed leader of the Blade lineage, who is all but a master under whom I've apprenticed. Do you really have to dress it up like that? I told you I only took on the role because there wasn't anyone else around to take the job. Switch. Where's the switch? Ah, gotcha. Goodness. Known as Bamboo Headed Kim. Oh, yes, that's me. Guess I should say pleased to meet you, folks. I'm gonna enjoy actually voicing him. He actually does fit my kind of profile, if anything. Lang dude looks a little quite a bit like she took from Malkuth's wardrobe for a little bit. I'm saying that kind of nicely too. Yes, same. I thought he was gonna look like he had some stubble or gruff to him, but he just looks pretty normal. If anything, younger than I thought. I guess the distorted voice kind of gave it a bit more gravel too. I have a scar. I think I feel that because of his distortion, he may have had those scars undone. Whatever kind of resentment that he had born from those scars are pretty much gone. Generation aura loss. I'm just kind of spitballing too, but that's what I feel like what happens. So I guess depending on certain circumstances and how long, I guess since it was a more of an artificial condition because he did kind of stand near the monolith during Yield My Flesh. I guess so. I guess so. More often than not, first impressions are prone to change. Bamboo Headed Kim, I remember, was a man who drowned in his own fathoms, blaming himself for his powerlessness, with a listless, heavy voice. I don't think that's necessarily the case because I think what we're doing is close to actually restoring. Yeah, because with distortion cases, it's important to pretty much exhibit a bit of force in order to kind of resuscitate them so they actually become human again. Just stabilizing them just enough. It's just a bit of percussive maintenance in the process. That, however, had been while he was distorted and sunken himself in. That, however, had been while he was distorted and sunken into himself. So I figured his original personality might be somewhat different. But this is not just somewhat. His personality is even in the same ballpark as my expectations. Even the game knows. That potential distortion would be breaking the pot. We're going it back together if they... Right. Yeah, because of how the glazing process is, you just fill in the cracks with gold, so it just becomes more sound, even if it is kind of fractured. You're telling me this guy here is Bamboo-headed Kim? Yep, we double checked with Ezra, and she said he's really the same guy. Whoa, fire in your head is not hot at all. Fascinating stuff. Can you? Okay, can we just check again? Just in case. I really can't wrap my head around the fact that this is the sullen, serious man who we fought. Just look at what he's doing. He's rubbing my face all over like checking some kind of mantelpiece ornament. Lots of ticking and talking going on. That's supposed to sound like them talking to you folks, huh? Lots of ticking and talking going on. That's supposed to sound like them talking to you folks, huh? Further confirmation would be redundant, Dante. This individual is conclusively identical to the one designated as Bamboo-headed Kim. I've got no idea what you folks are suspicious about. I mean, dude, just what exactly have you been telling people out here about me? They're all staring like I've seen a ghost. I told them you're a gallant and formidable warrior, Mentor. But I don't look like they've heard the most flattering things about me. There. Don't you hear it? The faint undercurrent of disappointment and ticking. I also told him that you're a man of a few words, but with much affection for the followers under your command. It's like the dream face. I mean, that's a bit... That's a bit harsh. Like, I'm still kind of like guard broken at the fact that he's just very clean shaven, no less. But he almost reminds me of like Raven from Tales of Vesperia. To some degree in his personality. I just think of Raven every time I like see him speak. I do. Yes, Mentor? That's a complete and utter lie. Man, a few words is definitely not something you can say about a guy who's as talkative as me, don't you think? Yeah, I spoke no falsehood. Although your conduct is rather shallow and perhaps less refined for a leader of an organization, you're much more observant and taciturn when conversing with those unfamiliar to you, are you not? No matter who one may be, one is bound to inspire either approval or disapproval from those around them. So I refrain from mentioning any truths that might have invite the latter. To even hint at anything that might tarnish the reputation of my master would not be unlike spitting on his name, and mine by extension. I simply had no reason to put on airs in front of my own folks. In any case, oh, so you can't see anything if the blood is running? Do tell how many fingers I'm holding up. Those are not my eyes, you know. My own folks. Huh. Then have you already acknowledged and accepted that you now belong to the Limbus company? Why does it not now pay a visit to LCE? Really, when one's mind is plagued by the absence of tranquility, venturing forth into the open air and untouchable field of grass clears the storm of the heart. She's saying touch grass. When you're touching grass, it probably opens up your mind and heart to a lot of things that really need to be recovered. And I said the company is expected to act in the company's interests. Yet for whatever reason, I didn't see you fighting on the battlefield during the operation. Oh yeah, I remember people having this idea that he was going to be kicking serious ass in Kanto 9, only for him to no-show. Especially when it came to like Matthias. I think we probably wouldn't need the Matthias getting folded up pretty nicely before Engdu had her arms ripped out. You will have to account for your absence in the mission. Thus addressed Kim as though she was conducting a form of investigation. Every word flat and hard. Sounds like someone's jest. It was obvious she was not about to let her guard down anytime soon. What mission? Oh, that one. Kim finally seemed inclined to assume a more serious disposition. stopped peering into my face and turned toward Aldous, although his hand was still on my head. Alright, clearly there's some disconnect in expectations here. Listen here, you. I'm really not all that about that hard part doesn't work. Get what I mean? The real disconnect was between his stoic expression and the words coming out of his mouth. What? So let's talk about the kind of fella I am. Meet the brilliant layabout who is forced to do his job with a frown too, I might add. Only when he's got absolutely no other choice. I really am not some big shot dude's apparently been promoting me as, folks. And I very much like to stop getting roped into stuff that keeps putting my life on the line. Fine then. Why'd you join LCD in the first place if you don't rather be unemployed? Well, never mind. They probably forced you to stay. You catch on quick. First they spout this nonsense about distortion and all, and then Force hired me, called me company-owned resource or whatever. And the other day they were on about, what's his name, Golden Bow? Yeah, they invited me on a tour to another department to listen on to an important presentation. And I accepted. I thought it would be a fine opportunity to broaden my perspective. And dear, there are times when your commitment to duty shines brighter than the sun. I find that attitude so dazzling that I have to squint when I'm looking at you. Who knows? Maybe that's why I'm wearing this bamboo hat, to shade my eyes from your utter brilliance. Do you mean to say that you're in need of a shield to protect your eyes? Oh, these two are made for each other. These two are I don't know how to properly describe this situation. But it's like the two skills of dumbass just leveling each other out. The innocent dumbass and the actual experienced dumbass. It's just oh yeah, it's like Estelle and Raven from Tales of Vesperia at this point. Hold up, let me see. So if Kim is Raven and Engdu is Estelle, I guess that makes Ishmael more or less, Rita. I was just kind of posting something on Twitter for the moment. Just, my observation, if anything. Lady Ezra, might I submit a request for a pair of sunglasses for my mentor? Well, if not too much of an imposition on the budget, that is. That right there. That's what I keep telling you not to do. You can't just say yes to every silly thing he says and turn it to a supply request. Small expenses add up a lot, you know. You gotta save up everything you can in the piggy bank while you still can, or you're on the broke. Is there truly no room for reconsideration? No means no. Okay, so Ezra is Yuri. In this case. And that would probably make... No. Ezra's more Patty. Or... what's his name? Kill the axe. Like, it's just becoming a tilted Vesperia party at this point. Moses I can definitely see as like Judith, since they're the most experienced. And pray make the purchase for me. I shall cover the cost myself. No, can... Wait, what? My poor mentor is in a state of great discomfort, yet I possess neither the wisdom nor the knowledge to navigate the silver tongue of merchants, and the maze of stalls to locate locate the very best item. So I must beg this favor of you. You're giving me a freaking headache, girl. I'm aware that you and yours are no stranger to such dealings. There's no one I can trust to complete such a procurement with such swiftness of the wind. You know what? Never mind what I said. I'll just get you what you want. You're the gentle lady mentor. Your suffering shall soon be alleviated. Right. My apologies for interrupting you amid conversation. Pray, continue. You had reached the part where they invited you to a tour to another department. No sooner Engdu's words left her lips than her eyes glinted with something I couldn't really put my finger on, but it was a strange intensity that sent a chill down my spine. You think? Yeah. So that day, I was just gonna relax here and watch some TV. Well, good on you for showing up to work today, I guess. Let's say there's a debt to be repaid. At least you understand that we are indeed indebted to the company. Yeah, I suppose I do. Kim's gaze lingered on Engdu's prosthetic arms as he answered. Oh, Miss Engdu? Your arms? Only after following Kim's gaze, did Sinclair seem to notice Engdu's branded prosthetic arms. The last time we saw her, Engdu had lost both her arms, and I remember Ezra asking her to sit tight and choose what type of prosthesis she wanted. Those arms are probably it. It's not just the arms, even her clothes are different now. And that sword. I had these arms fitted anew as soon as the operation was concluded. The gracious host and one of LCD's teams had prepared them in advance. Yeah, that's Yuri's handiwork. With evident satisfaction, Engdu held up a dark metallic wrist as if to showcase them. The component fixed along her arm clicked and rattled, unfolding for a moment before nearly falling back into place. Oh, such graceful smoothness. Wed to machine's articulation. Just as though I'm beholding the marvelous prosthesis of the illustrious Siegfried himself. Yep, the showcase would have gone lackluster without a trademark reaction. That's strikingly similar to Schwartz's Industries 7 lineup. I thought that model was discontinued. Nah, not theirs. It's one of their prototypes developed by LCD's phenomenal deciphering team. And they put her on the trial. They put her on her for a trial. Now you'll find another one like them. They're based on technologies from distortions. Oh, I see. For a brief moment, Sinclair's eyes lit up as he had glimpsed something that brought him back to a memory. It just quickly, he fell silent. Whatever he wanted to say next. Whatever he wanted to say next, catching in his chest. Does something trouble you, Master Sinclair? It was just hard to understand what struck tender memory from Sinclair. The white cast a shadow over his face. Right, because his family was mostly in charge of a prosthetics company. And since that kind of got stormed down in Calv by the Incorporated Inquisition team, yeah, that definitely brings back some bad memories. Especially since Guido and Cromer just pretty much walked in and just killed everyone in the family. But right, heading out. Alright, take care, Artie. Rest well. Sorry, it just reminded me of something from a long time ago. My dad used to work with prosthetics before he passed away. I thought this was the exact same model I saw back then. It appears I lack tact. These arms have stirred a painful memory within you. For that, I apologize. It's alright. I'm fine now. Sinclair's voice still carried a faint tremor, but beneath it, there was a firmness that had not been there before. You really had grown a great deal. You can thank yours truly for picking out the sword. I was there with her. I did inform Lady Ezra that any blade could serve as a weapon would suffice, but she insisted on browsing the goods. Like I said, I was given the opportunity to lay my eyes on every type of sword I could ever hope to see in all its life. Walking through the workshop street that day. Oh, please, girl. You'll have just 4 hours, that's nothing. Ooh. While everyone is distracted with taking in Angus's new outfit and equipment, Gaiman quietly slipped away from the crowd and crouched down in the corner. I have none of him. Now that you mention it, yeah, more so Sinclair because of, well, reasons. But Merceau, I never really paid much attention to that. Because Heathcliff, Faust, Ishmael has prosthetics too because of her Captain Ahab ID. Don, I don't think so. I'm probably gonna have to look back at the IDs in general. He was rummaging through his scattered. He was rummaging through things scattered on the floor, picking them up. Pocketing them? Anyway, what is this place supposed to be? What are all these things? Basically a wreck now. But there's tropes and cloth backdrop over there. There used to be a photo studio? Oh, that could explain why there's so many photos stuck around the place. Probably. This definitely looks like a camera, at least. Sinclair picked up a small cylindrical object and turned it over in his hands, studying with curiosity. I suppose this is. Battery, maybe? There's some kind of strip inside. Let me just pull it out. Nope, that's... I shot as a sharp warning at Sinclair as if she had realized something. Marcella's hand shot up before you could even finish, clasping over Sinclair's wrist before the strip could be pulled out. What'd I do? Exposure to sunlight damages these objects. I already pulled out a little bit of it. Though. It can be rewound. Carefully rotate the rigid section of the cylinder. I'm currently blocking the sunlight from reaching the exposed section. Damages are no concern. Okay, you mean this one, right? It's the part that rotates. Yep, and it went back in. With a quiet nod, Marcel took the object from Sinclair's hand. It seems to be a film roll. There's something written on the outside. Experiment number 4? It appears to be a compact roll for a film camera. You seem to have handled one before. Yes. Marcel's answer came without any further explanation, but the way he adjusted the camera on the table certainly didn't look like that of a first-timer. I once received a report containing photographs taken on film cameras during the war. Film rolls used by NCOPA are particularly difficult to falsify. They're often used to collect intelligence during secret operations. The film flexes light directly onto the medium, from what I've heard. A peculiar expression flashed across Esther's face as she regarded Ostis. Perhaps it was the mention of the war that caught her attention. Anyway, we managed to regroup in one piece. Let's come up with a plan to deal with these distortions, guys. Where shall we begin? And then in the next breath, she returned to her usually bubbly self and steered the conversation away from the subject. Both Ezra and I were both still trying to be free from the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. For all her unfailing perky disposition, Ezra too may be carrying a traumatic memory that every bit as devastating as Gregor's. Does there yet remain aught of deserving illumination? Huh? But yeah, wait, you're right. Everyone couldn't have a distortion already? I couldn't feel more traces of distortions nearby, and it didn't seem like any of the other Sinners teams elsewhere were actively engaged in battle at the moment either. Donnie's asking whether the distortion suppression has not in fact been concluded already. Oh, not yet. Those people we fought just now, only caught up in the distortion. They actually distort themselves. We haven't gotten close to the distortion inflection point yet. Inflection point? Anywho, finding an inflection point without the team later on is gonna take some time. Maybe it won't be too bad with your help. Ella swept her eyes around the room with a look of frustration as though she had been handed the puzzle box with half the pieces missing. By inflection point, you're referring to the point on the graph in which the directionality of its curvature changes. Calling to mind the present context, maybe less a mathematical term and more specialized policy referring to the point at which a distortion occurs. Motive, intent, or indeed the point in which the inflection of the line occurs. Yep, that's about right. That's the kind of inflection point I was talking about. So in our department, we use that term to mean the source of a distortion, the inflector or cause behind it, stuff like that. You know, distortions are hard to treat if you don't know the core cause. Treat the symptoms you see on the surface all you like, but if you never find the root cause, the distortion's never getting solved. I guess you guys never really had to look for that kind of stuff, huh? Your boss clock opens the doors into the fathoms or whatever, right? You mean Dungeon of the Fathoms? Yep, that's the one. From where we're standing, distortions are really high maintenance, time-consuming headaches. It's one thing to somehow manage to locate the inflection point, but curing is another thing. But you guys can just march straight into someone's heart and knock the snot off everything in there, and then ta-da! Patient ready for discharge. That's how it works, right? Not gonna lie. I was so jealous when I heard about it. I almost bit my sleeve off. Rarely, I had thought your team would set about resolving distortions once the foe is vanquished, as we are wont to do. Was that not so? Of course not. Why would anyone come to us with a distortion suppression request if we weren't that simple in the first place? If it were that simple in the first place. But yeah, most of the time, peeps try to brute force approaches to the first. When things go south, they send requests to the company or to our detective's office. That means the clients this time must have been bingo. Apparently the residents of Butter Street had all chipped in to commission all kinds of agencies like the ZY and the Combat Specialized Fixer offices. but none of them could actually do the things right. The job got passed on to us. Meaning the distortion phenomenon related to the kind of photographs is still occurring unchecked somewhere in the streets. Exactly. That's why we gotta find something. Anything that might count as a clue. Because it gets down to people lying on the floor with a complicated expression. Neat ash gray suits, and the logo on the collar of their uniform or briefcases. Hey, isn't that Incorp's logo? Come to think of it, wasn't Marceau... I was once employed by Incorp. What? You used to work with those people? Yeah, he did mention that he used to work in Incorp. Maybe he can offer some insight. Do you know who these guys are, Marceau? Yes, manager. These are Incorp's Class 2 staff members. Given the camera briefcase in the position, they are like members of the pin frame team of service that close. So recited that information as though he were pulling it from a file he had ready sorted and placed in the back of the shelf in his mind. Okay, pin frame team. Huh. Can you tell anything about them? Yes. It is one of Incorp's many field departments related to information gathering and processing. Their primary duties include the handling of Incorp's internal information, analysis of Incorp's internal intelligence, and the sorting and arranging of Incorp's internal information in intersector. That'd be enough. Whoa, is he a talking encyclopedia or something? Yeah, nothing to be jealous of. Do you think it'll be okay if we borrow him sometimes? Might be an issue for us if he just went and borrowed our team's encyclopedia. Looks like everyone agrees that he's an encyclopedia. I mean, yeah. Anyway, your encyclopedia is right. They're from Incorp's pinframe team. Seen them a few times in Incorp's nest. But why would people already busy dealing with enough nest affairs come out this all the way to a shabby factory like this? Got any guesses? I haven't been able to determine that. Huh? Possible range of connection between the two pieces of information exceedingly broad. Listing every relevant reason as to why they might have come here would require a considerable amount of time. Therefore, I'll not present a determinative answer to that question. Guys are staring holes into me with unspoken, is this dude always like this? Wouldn't pull any answers from me, you know? Because aside from combat situation, I still got no way to figure out what's going on in his head. Okay then. Marceau? Maybe this will be easy to answer from an objective point of view. And that was when I noticed something I never imagined would happen. Marceau's eyes widened, his gaze fixing me with such force I could almost feel like a faint tremor in it. The loving stare that came with, there's no such thing as an objective point of view. Manager. The clipped tone and a look almost bordering on rebuke. A given judgment may seem infinitely close to objectivity, but ultimately all things are subjective without exception. I fell silent for a moment, lost in thought. Part of it was because Marceau's reaction had caught me off guard. But I also wondered whether this response might be connected as to why he would always refuse to make judgments for himself. And if that had something to do with his turn, which I just know is around the corner. Got it. Then tell me 3 subjective reasons you think are most likely for why these people had to come all the way into the back streets. I need to understand who he actually is as much as I can. Because I'll never know when I ever get another chance to really get to know him if I brush up this off with a simple, oh, I see, my bad as usual. Yes, manager. I presume that the mission was one or all the following. Retrieval of a video recording or recordings in violation of Incorp's taboo. Prompt elimination of the violator. Contact with the informant in the back streets collaborating with Incorp's nest. For identification and arrest of individuals designated by the nest. A lot of things to do with number 3. I think I remember something in the book, though, about that. It's just always a very rigid process for him. Taboo? You mean these people could be taboo hunters? Nah, no way. They don't send out taboo hunters for every single violation, you know? Like Wings usually leave minor taboo violations to be handled by subordinated convicts officers or employees of the department that's in charge. I think these guys are NCorp staff. Missing deal? What are you looking for in their pockets? I'm looking through the belongings for lightning clues yet to be hidden in the sleeves of the fold of their garments. Ada Moses has been gifted with the art of discerning the truth from what lies before her with but a single glance. Yet my eyes are foreign to such a feat. Let me take a look too. His employee card. And okay, this one's a wallet, so let's put that back. We don't want to be robbers. This might be it. It's an order missive. I have to pull the sheet of paper out of the NCorp staff's coat and read its contents aloud. Work details. Eliminate the individual of a Category 3 taboo violation. Address Butter Street. This is the place. Which means all this might be pointing to something. Whoever used to work in the studio in this distortion phenomena might be connected. Yeah, now that you mention it, when the whole pop and change thing happened, it did kind of feel like a camera flash. Alright, let's start by coming through this place. When you find things suspicious. Oh, at long last. At the hour arrived for my debut as a detective. Pursuit. Don Quixote must have been miffed for not getting to play detective back in T-Corp. No idea where she'd been keeping them, but she immediately pulled out the detective props that had been given to Roja, Ryoshu, and Hongwu back then. Verily, I foreseen that the day would come. Fortunately, Altus wasted no time putting an end to Don Quixote's ballet time shenanigan. A sharp dressing down from her was just enough to make our dejected chivalric adventure stuff the costume away. Okay then. We should get moving too. Alright, now we actually have our first fight. Sweet. Though that also means since it's 2:30, I might have to wrap things up pretty soon too, so we can't dilly-dally too much. But I'll probably save a part 2 for once we hit a certain point. As we're gonna find, oh, of course, she's offers Killjoy. She's always gonna be a Killjoy. Okay. Wait, don't have you on my friends list. Now I think about it, Equinox. What's your manager ID? I need to have all 7 of them too. Alright, let me see then. It's just mostly middle. Oh, okay. So it's just like recent changes too. So let me see. All right, there we go.
피가 범람할 수
의로움을 벌써요? 메뉴
부름이라면
언제나 준비되어 있다.
Oh yeah, I also have his whack ass here too. Alright, Sync Association. I mean, I've kind of seen like what she does too. Because you did mention Nero before, so I kind of put two and two together. Especially when it comes to, I think either it is Tomboy or Gebera. Like Gerbera. Booster arms.
마침내
Spent a long time rifling through the photo studio with the LCD team, but no one found any decisive evidence. Sure, a lot of photos around, but almost all of them are just pictures of buildings. Not much to tell from that. Aside from the canister containing the film roll Sinclair picked up, there are no remaining items here that can count as proper clues. I confirmed that the rest are all empty plastic containers. It's probably just best to check the contents of the film roll directly. Yes, Executive Manager. I'll find a way to develop the film. Did you guys find any sort of photo development room or equipment nearby? Let's search a little before we see what's in the tinfoil. Yeah, I guess you can remove the facade after the next one. Mentor, what do you make this object? For the 8th time, Mengdu, I have no idea. Have I wits bright enough to understand all of the lies before me with a single glance like the team leader? I passed royal examinations long ago and secured myself a lucrative position as a court official. Mentor, and you already passed the royal. Once swung a sword does not retrace its arcing do. But with life, there is no undoing what's already been cut. Thus, it's unnecessary to dwell on what can no longer be undone. There's no after for what's been slashed away. Not for you, Mentor. Are you not to dwell on what can no longer be undone? I misspoke. I didn't mean it that way, Engdale. I merely meant to say that I do not wish to recall my past. I'm aware. You told me such since long ago, whenever you were placed in a position to retrace the past. Mostly at the eateries where you filled your belly on unpaid tabs, and each time you brought down the stone wall before our house by your own erring hand. Those are exactly the kind of things you should never forget. Oh, ow, oh, my belly. I feel stabbing pain in my belly. This spot. Oh, the very wound you once gave me has flexed me yet. The one from when you thought you were poking me with a scabbard, hit by some cruel turn, it was your sword that ran me through. Mentor, so it was completely healed, and I need not to concern myself with it. Those very same words have been repeated at least 80 times. But it still aches every now and then. Chief, when I hear his sharp cutting words I really don't want to hear. Ah, is that so? Angry suddenly pulled out a sheet of paper and began furiously writing something down. What's this? I have written down the words that I have just said. Oh, she is such a far cry from how she was when we met her. If you hear my shotgunning words of foods you sell, then perhaps reading them instead would cause no suffering. Kim's face began to contour like wet dish towel being wrung dry. If I can't believe there's the same mentor Engdu that follows so devotedly. Where's all that dignity and forbearance Engdu said he had? Young Engdu, as a matter I would like to ask thee. Brimley is the only one who felt this way about him. Pray, speak freely. This may perhaps be a discourteous inquiry, but I too, when speaking to the others of whom I serve, often ornament my words with a laudation of acceptable degree, and yet, I understand your concern, Lady Don Quixote. I suppose this is your first time seeing a mentor with his shoulders so embraced and his bearing so loose. In truth, when I first beheld him, I also wondered whether such a man could truly be a leader worth placing my faith in. However, upon my honor, I assure you that I have never once uttered a falsehood when I spoke of him to you. My respect toward the blades of my own and foes alike, my determination to safeguard what must be protected. Even should my arms be torn apart, all these are undoubtedly the teachings that my mentor had imparted unto me. Truly? Why, if fortune should grant the opportunity, you may witness mentor's true self yourself someday. That is to say, if we let ourselves be carried by the currents of the river to arrive at such a chance. Engdu gave her breast stomach arm a casual sweep, smiling sincerely as though she truly believed every word she said. And leaning closer to Don Quixote, she whispered, "Besides, let's speak with his feigned stern ignorance. There'll be no end to his digging in his heels. But as for your trust, all is aimed at his benefit. Forsooth, thou hast been burdened with the trials of serving your superior." So that's what it was. I get it now. So she's like Sancho to Don Quixote. That's why I guess they can kind of level with each other a bit more too in that regard. Because that's only something Sancho would probably be able to like kind of match up with. Yes, as I witnessed the budding of this peculiar bond of commiseration and camaraderie between our chivalric friends, the doors leading outside was flung open with a loud slam. We've arrived at our target location. It seems that it appears that the advance party has already been defeated. Wait, but these people? Didn't they say there were only a single violator? Oh crap. Looks like it's too late to talk our way out of this. Whatever excuse we come up with. Oh boy, this is not going to end well. Same thing happened last time. I saw incoming employees. I thought we had the wrong intel. All of a sudden... The sun flashed blinded my vision white. So I stared straight into a burst of searing light so intense and bright that it made my head swim. Yeah, that was the same pop and... The vision blinded, the only thing I could make out was Ezra's soft murmur. Until even that came to stop as her breathing hushed. Oh. It didn't take long for me to realize what was happening. Seeing it again doesn't exactly warm the heart, would you say, Angdale? Alice may be indeed passing through hard times. As I was not quite so wretched in form, was it, Mentor? Is that right? That's much the same to me. This place. Did we just get teleported to Escort? No, Dante. Though it generates a considerable sense of verisimilitude, this is... I think I know what this is. It's a presence. I've been able to detect it until now. Somehow it's just now surrounding us, saturating every corner of the space where we stood. Gray stone walls, trees bending cold in grotesque forms, shielding the light. Even the air we breathe, all of them point toward a single phenomenon. And this? The depth of the fathoms. Fathoms made entirely out of distortion. They're completely different distortions where the N-Corp employees were just a moment ago. Second Manager. It's exactly it. This is what I was trying to explain. Oh, these guys look gnarly. As I pointed, the people in smart, neat suits have vanished, and in the place, figures clad in blistering doping robes were approaching us with dragging uneasy steps. Right. Let's fight first and talk later. Okay? Ready, Angdu? My boy is ready to strike, Lady Ezra. And, wait. Where's Bambada, dude? I'm afraid he has already taken his leave. They had no desire to cross blades with the childrens of Escort twice. Chuon Kun. Come on, not again. He's a repeat offender, that's for certain. Instead of manager? Whoever Kim's gone off to, this definitely isn't time to be asking trivial questions. Right. Let's do whatever it says and get ready for battle. By your orders, Executive Manager. Men, prepare for battle.
엄마가 검을 들고 나갈 때마다 내가 정말 두려웠던 건
Oh, Ezra's here.
엄마가 돌아오지 않는 거였어. 너희는 어떠려나? 무사히 돌아올까? 아니면 엄마처럼 거짓말쟁이가 되어버릴까?
Seems like Wrath seems to be the ideal situation. Yeah, but and Ezra too. Actually, though, yeah, let's rock it.
재밌겠는데? Wrath does have to do a thing.
소리와 호흡을 멈추고
옳다.
Well, there's Angdu too.
쟤네 정신을 못 차리는 걸? 차라도 했나?
Let's finish up play at least.
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리.
God.
이거 공감났지?
너무 세게 맞은 건 아니?
시원한 스윙! 스트레스 좀 다른 소리 안 들리나요?
흉터의 결과야.
Another one gone.
짜잔! 여기 깜짝 선물을 준비했어요.
아, 직접 만든 옷입니까?
제가 만든 멋쟁이 옷을 입고 어트랙션을 즐겨보세요.
Damn.
対して大きな打撃を与えました
아니 완벽한 한방 시원한 걸.
敵は深手を負っています
Acupuncture.
재밌겠는데?
별이 남자
우와 지금 완전 삼촌들이랑 공원에 같았어
Oh no, you don't.
본인의 승리.
깨달음을 얻으셨고
모자를 쓰고 있는 혈기에겐 방망이 대신 풍선칼이 정답이에요
I'm not gonna lose that anyway, so. Oh, why not?
불가 위함 막아내지 못하리.
그냥 5배.
Oh, perfect.
육참 골단
Bone status claimed.
와,
Less than 5 business days,
엄청난
too.
공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸. 방금 전에는 굉장했다고. 베르릴 그 인간도 이건 인정할 걸?
벤단 4월을 거니
되겠냐고요.
오롯한 검의 길에 한 걸음 더 가까이
나의 승리다.
지금처럼
And
엄마와
wrapped up.
함께 이곳저곳을 다니며
This should be all of them. Surveying the area with a measured alert, and to cast the blood from her sword with a few sharp flicks before sliding it back into a sheath. Huh, not change it back. Don't look like beating them up. Beating up these distorted ones reverts them to immediately this time around. Perhaps a fortunate turn of events, in a way. Let us try to clues while time allows us. Right. You take that side, I do. I'll search here. Okay. Guess Nangdu moved about as though they were used to this kind of situation. They even taking a moment to catch their breath after the battle they began searching his face. Prithee. Donkey was the first to voice her doubt in the surreal, unfamiliar situation we found ourselves. Battle distortion itself upon arrival hither. Yet never before had I beheld our surroundings change with such a sudden flash. Prithee, I cannot make sense of the situation. Just now render a detail. I can't let this switch me out. Apologies. Hope we have overlooked the briefing due to the urgency of this predicament. This is, according to the definition by President Moses, a location to distortion. It's basically when the whole space distorts. Since places and buildings can't move on their own, the distortion gets fixed in a certain space. As for this one, looks like the distortion's already progressed pretty far along. Middle stage, probably. They usually don't get this big, but this one's covering almost the entire street. And what? And those people. Yeah, this person got caught up in it. And our job right now is to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. Once that gets people caught up, but what happens to them once they're in? Of course, we can't exactly rule out the possibility of how distortion is approaching one's environment. Oh, by that I mean when the distortion bleeds into space around it, warps it. Oh man, I should take the Top 19 leader. Rubbed off on me, I guess. As I continue with a sheepish giggle. In any case, we won't be able to suppress or cure the distortion even if we move these guys' asses 100 times. We need more clues to help us locate the inflection points. Maybe we should examine these people over there too. The call as I direct our attention to rows of class people around and call all of them clad in double robes. And these are the cliff and place upon the headbands. Chu bespeaks propulsion, pursuit. Maximus Chuonkuns. Functionaries charged with scouring and hunting away nobis. Runaway nobis. You from the Homeland as we do. I'm not surprised that you know of them. I hardly fail to know. I too was once enumerated among their quarry. Scientists and technicians were daily being dispossessed of the stations in Escorp after all. So it's no idle tale. Scientists applied their crafts without finding Escorp's coffers were seized forthwith and made nobis as a corporation. Indeed. I could count myself fortunate to have absconded with my friends at 4 before the brand of Nobi could be impressed upon us. Otherwise, Nobi, the wretched appellation conferred upon the people for the convenience of those in power. A vile practice and excuse of power-mongering, nothing more. The so-called taboo hunters of Escorp operate by much the same anatomy. Does breaching a taboo summon the hunter, or does the hunter first seize his prey, to thereafter frame the captured within the transgression? The powerful soul desire to chase man down, to take possession of his very being and keep him caged. And he need only decree that he should bear the lot of a Nobi. Such is what Escorp has become today. My mentor is one of those victims of that cursed practice. Then could these people have been sent to capture your mentor, you sang? Or me, perhaps? Or none of us? You mean to say that they may be conceptual forms of Chuonkuns generated by distortions? That is a plausible conjecture. I can ignore this clue hunting. Every sigh just press her finger against her brow as her head was starting to pound in frustration. Delve further into the matter. It's necessary to determine why Escorp is Chuonkuns. It appeared as the motif of this phenomenon. Concerning the course of events we have seen so far, it would not stand to reason that the distortion stains all nearby things with memories of it most foul. The person of Chuonkuns suggests a possible correspondence to Yisang's memories. Conversely, however, the absence of Teacups time is weakens the hypothesis. In which case, the most plausible theory that this particular distortion could have stemmed from an event by the Chimera into his memories. And deferred her brow and fell into thought, so she couldn't grasp the full picture of the problem. I've seen a few distortions that show trauma and reflect the surroundings, but this one, I'm not getting that pop of inspiration. Maybe I guess that's what this distortion wants either. The white flash of light suddenly drew my vision again, as Ezra clutched her head and cried out with annoyance. I thought the team leader was here. This would have been a piece of cake. We're back. This way kept asking him whether he'd seen anything brisker with the pop. And club employees must have had it rough too, getting dragged to distortion like this. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? Self-defense. How about to attack us? I suppose finding the root cause and taking care of it would be the fastest way forward. Let's just do what we can for now. Okay, first we need to develop the film we found here. We'll need to head to the nearest dark man. Actually, let's first drag that sleepy high and Colt back here and get him talking about the Chuon-kuns. That's probably our best bet. Every time I get to take a job, that slacker slips off without telling anyone. There's one part of me watching Ezra stand for feeling of frustration. I was also carefully following Heathcliff's team through another part of my vision. I think I can help with that. Have you located him? Huh? What? Boss Clock found something? Yep, I found where Bamboo-headed Kim is. Right now.
돌아오고 있어요. 뒤틀림에서 다시 사람의 형상으로. 살수의 방식으로는 절대 도달하지 못했을 결과일 테죠. 이젠 좀 알 것 같네요. S사로 떠나기 전까지 제가 현장 추리팀에서 무엇을 배워가면 좋을지.
Okay, so this is getting late. I am kind of feeling a little tired too, so we'll settle this maybe another time. Depending on how things go, I may even consider doing it sometime, well, if there's nothing too much into the way, I could probably just fit it in for Monday since I usually take those days off, but just for like special occasions, I can just guerrilla that. About notes, yeah, but I also want to like take into consideration that I just need to like give myself time to breathe. And sleep. Kim was bamboo-headed person. Man. I guess it's just the common trend that people are just saying as the aura loss, that the aura stocks just went down. I just find him very endearing. Very funny at that too. Almost exactly like Raven, because everybody kind of props him up as this like prime individual of like skill and finesse and so on, and when you actually meet him, he's just a shell of his former self. A bit of self-loathing here and there, but still got the skills to pay the bills. He just reminds me so much of Raven from Tales of Vesperia, and I'm just gonna keep repeating that to my head until it just sticks. But that's all for me. Take care, everybody. Peace out. I'll see you guys, gals and bells, next time. Later. It's always sticking. I mean, it's kind of stuck already at this point, but it'll stick even further the more we kind of go through Kim's escapades. That much I know. And if you're also, oh, let me also cut the YouTube feed for the moment. If you're also going to be sticking around for the raid as well, do keep in mind of 3 things, and these 3 rules apply.